Hey there, just wanted to put together a quick video to introduce Visual Mumps, which is an integrated and interpreted programming environment for Apple IIgs and GSOS. And beta version 2 is now available. You can get it at andrsoftware@gmail.com, and also we're working to get it placed at What is the 2GS website as well. And I'll provide that information in the notes along with this video. But for this video, I just wanted to introduce you to how to get the system up and running and how to run one of the demo programs. So once you've mounted the disk image into either your emulator or onto your actual 2GS, go ahead and open the VM Beta 2 file. And you'll notice there's several files in that disk image. The .mps files are Mumps source code. These are programs you can run and look at and learn from. And the actual Mumps system is here under VMS16. So I'll start that up. And I am running under emulator. I do have the system speed turned up a little bit just for the video here. For recording purposes. So once you start up the system, you get the splash screen giving the Mumps version number and letting you know that the Mumps interpreter is started in the background. And you just go ahead and click OK. And now you're into the Mumps environment. You have the command window at the bottom of the screen. This is where you enter your Mumps commands. They can be lines of code, or they can be instructions to run any of the sample programs or programs that you write in text files and keep on the disk. And once you're in this command mode, the menus don't work until you exit the command mode. So you either exit the command mode by running a Mumps statement or program, or you can just hit return, and that will get you out of the command mode. In the middle of the screen is the console window. You can have output from your program go to the console window, but typically you're going to be creating your own windows for your programs with your own controls that you'll place. But it's good for debugging. For example, I can just write hello, and it'll go to the console window there. And notice then my command menu goes away. So to get my command menu back, I just come under the Mumps menu item and hit Mumps command, or I can ask it to rerun the last command, or if there's any reason I want to reset Mumps, I can halt it and then restart it. As you see, Start Mumps is disabled right now because, of course, Mumps is up and running. So and if I want to exit out of Mumps, I can go to the File menu and quit, and that'll take me, of course, out of Mumps and back to GSOS. And we can get some information here. The About menu, or the About box, is here, and it does list the email address here, andrsoftware@gmail.com is where you can reach me, and I can email you a beta version of the software. Okay, so going back, let's tell Mumps we want to give it a new command. And I want to run one of the sample programs, which is called hello W. So D space up arrow HELLOW.MPS. So if you're not familiar with Mumps, D is the do command. The up arrow tells the do command I want to do something that's on the disk. And what's on the disk is hellow.mps. I want to run the code in that source file. And then I can just hit return or click OK. And sure enough, I get a new window here on the screen that my program created. You can see it has a black background in the title bar with bright green text. There is a close box, a zoom box, and the window is movable. And these are all configurable from within the code. And we've also got scroll bars on both the side and the bottom, as well as a grow box. So let's take a look at the source code that created this window as just a quick tutorial, and then in future videos we'll go into how do we add text into the box, how do we add buttons and radio buttons, check boxes, thermometer controls, and so on. So I'm just going to go ahead and close out my window. And the way I've got my system configured is I have a text editor as a CDA, but you can certainly use any text editor of your choice. It may require you to come out of running the Mumps environment to do so, where with this program I can still be in Mumps and bring up the editor while Mumps is still running. So let me go ahead and open up our Hello W program. And this is heavily documented on the bottom, and really there's only one line of code that's needed to create a window in Visual Mumps, and that's one of the requirements that I had of writing this is to make GUI programming as easy as possible. And if you've tried to ever write Windows programs or GSOS programs in C, it is tens and 20s and 30s of lines of code just to put a window or put a control on. And what this does is allows us to have a simple interface to do this. So the way this works is we have the set command here, set win equals $Z window, and win is a variable that will hold an index to the window that we create, because when we want to put controls on later on, we'll need that index. And then there's 9 parameters that get passed to create the window. The first 4 indicate the top left corner and bottom right corner of the window. The next is the text that will go into the window title bar. The next 2 are the foreground color and background color of that title bar and the line. So the 10 is the bright green we saw earlier, and 0 is black. And at the bottom of this listing is the colors and the numbers for your reference. And then, if you remember, we had scroll bars on both the side and the bottom, so that's a setting of 3. If we had a setting of 0, you'd have no scroll bars and no grow box. 1 gives you only on the side, 2 gives you only on the bottom, and 3 gives you both. And then the final parameter is either a 0 or 1, it's on-off, and that turns on or off the close box, the zoom box, and whether or not the window is movable. So right now those 3 are tied together with the single switch on and off. In future versions, there may be additional parameters or change in the way the parameters are run to do that. But for now, to keep it to a minimum of parameters, which 9 is already getting to be a lot to remember, we've got those 3 combined together. So for example, if we wanted to change the color of what we had, if we put a 14 and a 1, that's a yellow text on a blue background. And let's turn off our scroll bars and make this simple change. So I'm going to go ahead and save this. And I can go ahead and simply run last command, which will rerun this program now with the new settings. And you can see we've now have a blue background with yellow text. We've lost our scroll bars, but we still have the ability to move and zoom and close our window. So that's where I'm going to end this video, just an introduction to how to run the Visual Mumps environment, how to create a window, and in future videos we'll start adding controls and additional programming logic to write some small applications. So thanks, and I hope to see you again soon.